everybody, and welcome for the first time in 2023 to live coverage of Moto3 here for round 5 of the season, the French Grand Prix. We've had 3 different winners across the opening 4 races. It's Ortola who has done the double. Can he do anything today? Sasaki starts on pole position with Monrello alongside. It's all eyes up front. Let's head down to the grid then and Suki Perry with all the action to the build-up.
Welcome to Le Mans here for the French Grand Prix as we have a beautiful shot from a drone down the straight and we turn our attentions to Moto3. This is going to be an exciting one, I think. Neil, plenty to talk about and get stuck into here, but let's start with the man in pole position who's shone all weekend. Ayumu Sasaki.
Yeah, unreal. He's come here this weekend and he's done all the laps on his own. He's got an incredible race pace, and slipstream round here is worth quite a bit because you've got 2 quite long straights, and especially the start and finish straight because it goes uphill as well. So to be able to be so fast and consistent without getting a slipstream off anyone, I genuinely feel, and it's rare I'd say this in a Moto3 race, but he could check out. He really could check out today.
Well, yeah, that would be something. Daniel Gardo coming in, going from the front row. Good qualifying from him yesterday.
Yeah, and also Gardo looking really strong during the practice, so if one man could stop him, it's probably Daniel Gardo. He's done a great job this weekend so far. You know, he come here as leader of the championship, great start of the championship. Sasaki's been really strong, but I think Olgado, with the slipstream like that Neil was talking about, it's going to be very hard to drop those guys, so we might get a little group, you know, in the front of all these guys fighting, you know, with Onshu and probably Minho as well. That would be, he knows he's going to have to give his back very soon, so he's going to be desperate to get a good result.
Yeah, Andre Minho going from the second row of the grid today, and just to complete our front row chat, then Diogo Moreira goes second.
Yeah, Moreira hasn't looked as strong this weekend, but obviously he's put it on the front row, so he qualified well. But there's one thing we know about the young Brazilian, he's more of a racer anyway, so starting from the front row is a massive advantage here. Turn 3, you go flat out round turn 1 and turn 2, so turn 3 is essentially the first corner, and it gets really tight in there, so you definitely want to be in, certainly in, I'd say, the top 5, top 6 going into there. Mid-pack's difficult. It's really one line, Susie. We've seen a lot of first lap crashes there over the years.
So we're going to see an aggressive start by the sound of it, and we just saw shots there of Dennis Onshu. He'll be in there, won't he?
Yeah, exactly. Qualified in the second row. He's a big rider. He loses a little bit of an advantage coming out of these slower corners. I watched him yesterday, so he'll be making all his time up on the brakes.
Well, we can hear from Dennis Onshu now, and that's with him.
Dennis, we always expect you to be in the mix up at the front. Who do you expect to be battling with today in this race?
Today is true that Masiya Sasaki has a really good pace, and I'm just trying to be in the top, fighting in good positions. This circuit with the long straights is not really helpful for me, but I'll just try to do my best, enjoy every lap of the race, and try to be lucky and smart.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Lucky and smart, 2 good words. Looks like he's just got up.
Oh, he's been to the same hairdresser as Silva.
Yeah.
It's a difficult one to say. Yeah.
But Dennis, you know, looking for this victory, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's looking for it, but it's not coming, is it? So he's going to have to put it together at some point. What you can expect from him, though, is he's going to be aggressive. And we know he's going to take some risks, and he's going to be in that pack. His pace, actually, he played it down a bit, but he's looking quite good as well.
Just before we went to speak to Dennis, we saw shots of Ivan Ortola, who obviously has had a fantastic season so far, really showing so much promise and so much potential in what is a great team for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's bizarre, the fact that we stood here talking about Ortola. They, you know, having won the last 2 races from literally nowhere. He was a rookie last year. We didn't expect too much from him this year. I expect to see him step up and, let's say, be inside the top 7 in the odd race. But he's been stunning. But, in capital letters, this weekend he's had 3 crashes, and this is a track he doesn't know well. He's only raced here once, so I don't expect to see Ortola on the podium.
Oh!
I do. Oh. Yeah, we're going to disagree on that one. Ortola, I think, will be there.
Right.
He's been just so strong the last 2 races. It seems like his team as well, you know, young team, They are learning so quick, and they are putting everything together, building the weekends, you know, for him quite well. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I just feel like with the 3 crashes he's had so far this weekend, where did he end up in qualifying? I can't quite remember.
Well, 6, because he seems to get better as the weekend goes on.
It does. I still can't see him getting on the podium.
The Angelucci team certainly putting the package around him. And we can go to the team now. Natalie's caught up with Aurora Angelucci.
Yeah, Aurora, just talking about Ivan Ortola, obviously last couple of races have been fantastic for him. He's had a tough weekend, hasn't he, here in Le Mans?
I think he can do very well at here también. Sorry, but we have to see how he started. But the second position, the second line can be good for the start, and we have to see during the race what he can do.
Yeah, he qualified really well, hasn't he? But had a couple of crashes earlier on in the weekend. How is he feeling physically?
Yes, for sure. Today there is good weather, so better condition for the race, and we think he can do very well.
All the best today.
Thank you.
That's Aurora Angelucci, who you can see she's apologising to Nat. She doesn't need to at all. She's very nervous. She's the team boss. She's 20 years old. She's Italian, working for the Spanish team, speaking in English on race day. Fair play to her. But yeah, going from the second row of the grid, Ortola. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do. We should mention Jaume Masia, who didn't qualify well on the 3rd row in 7th, but has looked strong this weekend.
Yeah, Messia's at the pace, and he's on really good form. I just worry for him sometimes. It just seems like the Honda is not quite as good as the KTM when it comes to the battle, the fight. It's like that KTM just accelerates a little bit better out of the corners, and it just seems better for stopping, basically. So, I don't know. Messia will be there in the mix, but I just don't think he's going to win today.
We wonder whether Andrea Migno might be there in the mix as well, going from the 2nd row of the grid today. Natalie's with him.
Andrea, great to see you up here at the top end of the grid. Great qualifying yesterday. You've done plenty of laps around here, podium here before. How much will that experience count today?
Yeah, I'm very glad to start from the first 2 rows. So yesterday was a good day. We improved, and today will be a tough one. But we will try everything to be in front, and we will enjoy, and hope we with the guys at home and all the fans. So. Hope it will be a good Sunday for us.
Thank you.
It's always great to see Migno. It's just wish he had a full-time ride still, don't you?
Yeah, he's one of the real characters of this paddock. Certainly with the VR46 squad, he's like the joker in the pack. So a strong rider as well. It's just he's become a veteran. It's weird, isn't it? Because I think of Migno as a young lad,
yeah.
But he's just become a veteran in this class now. And yeah, this is probably his last ride, I'm guessing. He's just...
Someone else who sort of falls into that category, I suppose, is Romano Fenati going from the 3rd row. Has he got a chance today, do you think, Sylvain?
I think it's going to be tough. I mean, it's been like on and off since the start of the season. Started quite bad, actually. He didn't have a good feeling in the first races, and then he sort of like came on. So, I mean, why not? You know, you never know. And with the slipstreams, you know, everything can happen.
Oh, just going to jump in. Nat's down on the pit wall. Who are you chatting with, Nat?
Well, we've got Pecco and we've got Marco, who we always see along pit wall with the races. Pecco, who are you kind of looking out for in this race? How much do you enjoy watching the Moto3 guys?
Obviously, Andrea Migno, right here. Hoping to see a good race. He's always a nice battle, so I always to enjoy watching them.
And for your race later on, how are you feeling? Perfect weather conditions today, which is good for Le Mans.
Looks great. Let's win. Let's see if the temperature will grow. But in any case, we are happy with our choice, and let's see.
Marco, let's get your quick thoughts. What are you expecting from this Moto3 race?
Let's go, Migno. Only this.
Thank you, Marco.
Thank you.
Well done, Nat. Yeah, they love him. Migno, as we said, he's an absolutely massive character, not just in this paddock, but in Italy as well. And one of Valentino's gang. And it's great to see the support, isn't it? Something Valentino always used to do, would never miss a Moto3 race or 125s in those days. But why would you? Here it is then, the first race of the day here at the French Grand Prix. Ayumi Saki in pole. Michael and Gav, bonjour.
So, it's race 1000 for the MotoGP community, and to kick off the racing here on Grand Prix Sunday in France, it's Moto3. Let's get ready and go green at Le Mans. Round 5 of the 2023 Moto3 season is about to get underway. Here's your starting grid with Amor Sasaki on pole position. Diego Monrella starts second. Daniel Holgado has third. Then it's Andrea Minio fourth. Ivan Ortola fifth. Juan Messia starts in sixth on the grid. Drop further down with Dennis Onchu seventh. Artegas is eighth. Asman is ninth. Ruda in 10th. Salvador is in 11th. With Stefano Neppa in 12th position. Then we get Fanati, Yakanama and Farizzo as well in 15th. Kelso 16th, Fado is 17th, and we get 18th for IG as well. Vija 19th, Helen Ogden in 20th, Bertelli is 21st, Riccardo Rossi 22nd, Toba 23rd, Tatsuki Suzuki down in 24th position, a horrible qualifying for him. He's way out of position. David Alonso 25th, Joshua Whiteley 26th, Anna Carisso, she starts at the back in 27th position. 20 laps ahead of us here at Le Mans for this amazing race that we are about to see. The warm-up lap is go, and the bikes are going to head out onto the circuit. 27 riders in this event as well, which means you can see them all on our timing tower. And for the first time this year, we are live with Moto3. Usually what happens if this is your first time joining us is we commentate on the race as live. Either we do it live like this or it's delayed later and it gets put out as a full highlights package. You see every single lap, starting from where I started commentating from just now until the checkered flag. But because this is Grand Prix 1000 and because we've got a free weekend, we're going to do it live. And we'll have a few more live coverage of Moto3 and Moto2 throughout this season as well, unless they clash with things like Formula 2, Formula 1, touring car races, etc. So just hopefully you enjoy the ride with live Moto3 as well as they come into the action. Let's catch up then with BT Sport and see what they make of this.
They are passionate about the sport, but they do it so well. Free camping all weekend, isn't it, for the
free
spectator?
Camping, free parking. How good is that? If you're going to come for a weekend, there'll be people thinking going to races all over the country. They'll be thinking, I wish they'd bring that in mind. But that's because it's a private promoter here who puts a great show on, and they make it back on concession stands and all these other sorts of bits and bobs. And
they really do. The Le Mans weekend is completely always sold out. I've noticed that Omi's in the commentary chat as well, so hi Omi, watching back. Hopefully you enjoy the Moto3 races. If you're around, feel free to say anything. We've got the mic open as always. Oh, hello Omi.
Yep. Yeah, hello.
Are you looking forward to Moto3? Have you ever seen a Moto3 race before?
No, I haven't.
Well, imagine NASCAR and then imagine it on bikes. That's basically what you got. Pack racing is coming up, so you'll really enjoy this one.
Well, I haven't watched NASCAR. That's the only thing.
IndyCar on an oval? That's
okay, then yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Okay, well, enjoy it. If you want to say anything, just any questions, fire them away. There's Daniel Holgado, look. He is leading the championship. As we look at the 96, he starts third on the grid. Sasaki on pole position. It's his sixth pole of the Moto3 career. 3 winners so far this year, with Suzuki winning in Argentina, the race opener with Daniel Holgado winning in Portugal, but it's a double race for Ortola, winning America and Spain. He's done back-to-back. Can he do anything for 5th on the grid today? It is Moto3 at Le Mans, with a green flag at the back, eyes to the lights, look but never stare. Lights out for Moto3, good start again. Ford Monrella is going to close off the side of Holgado, but a wide start for Sasaki. Is that going to be enough up towards turn number 1? And the first real braking zone comes into the Ford chicane. Moving further back, Salvador's up to 9th position, and Holgado on the inside line takes the lead of the race. Are they all going to get through the chicane cleanly? I'm looking, yes, there's a little one wide at the back, and that is the 24, heading off wide of Suzuki, who has dropped almost to the back, and now Holgado versing Sasaki at the front of the field. Holgado right round the outside, coming round La Chapelle. Beautifully done as they come now once again into turn 7. the museum corner. Tight inside line part of the track as well. Hologado leads. Sasaki second. Monrella third. Onchi fourth. Minio fifth. Otola has dropped down into 7th position as Sasaki on the inside into Garage Vert. Late on the brakes. Takes the lead back from Hologado. Runs a bit too deep. Hologado gets the comeback in the second phase. And here comes Onchu as well. And Monrella. They're right behind as we head down. No jump starts. They race control, which is the best news as we head down in towards the Oxford Boots corner at 9 and 10, and the field begins to separate once again. Coming in is Minio. He's in 5th position. Further back in the lime green 16. Can he get through at the front? No. Onchu defending hard as well. We're riding with Monrella looking ahead. Kelso's up there. Vija's up there too. Fanati's dropped back. Vija's up and Suzuki has passed him as well. So they're all changing in the middle of the pack. You can see it happening on your timing tower alongside. So Moto3 is underway, 1 lap complete, 19 to go here. And Hologado will lead the opening lap. The championship leader by just 3 points. Sasaki down to second, Monrella third, Onchu fourth. Great start from Hologado though, third to first. It's the advantage of starting on the inside line, coming to the first 2 corners. You get the opportunity to shift around and exactly look where you want to jump on the inside as Onchu dive bombs the inside there of Diego Monrella. Well, Onchu's popular for that. He caused a massive accident a couple of years ago at the Circuit of the Americas as well on the back straightaway. So Onchu to third, Monrella down, and Yakanama's up 4 places. Kaito Toba and David Alonso. Toba at 9, Alonso up 6 places, but definitely Kaito Toba is the top rider in Moto3 as we come round once again. The museum corner. Sasaki's trying to go around the outside of Hologado on the run down towards Garage Vier. I don't think he's going to make the move. He's a bit too far back. This is where the long lap penalty is as well at the exit of turn number 8. 2 now hairpins as well through turn 8 on the right-hand side. Excellent for a quick double pass. And Kelso has passed Adji as well. So Mario Adji is down to 21st position. Meantime, looking at the timing tower, Hologado still in contention at the front with the 10th to Sasaki. He's got that 10th advantage, which is crucial, but 9 riders are running together before a 3/10 gap between Salvador and Yakanama as well, who is in 10th position as they come through once again into S Blues and down towards the Recruitment last 2 corners. Are we going to see anyone start to line up for a little dive bomb? There's a bit of puff of smoke though, I noticed in the background, but everything looks to be okay. Accelerate now. 2 laps down, 18 to go as we cross across the line. And look at that. Red sector times increasing. Hologado, Sasaki, Onchu setting fast lap before Masia takes it with a 1:42 point. Well, I'm trying to find out as well. Yeah, it's a 1:42.538 as well as they come in. Masia with the fastest lap, getting close to Vietti's all-time record here, which is a 1:41.399. So closing down on that. Hopefully it might change over. Best race lap was a 1:36.276. So, sorry, I read the wrong thing there. Best race lap for Vietti was a 1:41.690. So we are getting closer to that as well. Battle for third between Onchu and Monrella at the front. Third and Sasaki in there too. And now Salvador gets a 6/10 of a second gap to Yamanaka in 10th position as Asman has passed in. That's the battle we need to be seeing further down the field, the battle for 10th, because they're getting close together. And now this is the problem we start to run into at Le Mans in dry conditions. Track temperature 27 degrees, air temperature 15. This is where we start to hit the problems because they now enter tyre-saving mode until the last 5 laps of the race. They don't want, they'll just stay like this in pack racing, changing between the 2 lines every now and then, but nobody wants to overcommit. Nobody wants to jump and say, okay, I'll take the front, I'll take the lead, because then they're going to have towing everybody else. Oh, we've got a crash up. Is it Kelso? No, who's gone down? It's Asman. Asman has crashed down to the top of the screen into the gravel and brings out the predicted yellow flag. So Asman crashes out the top of our picture, just drops the front end coming out of the turn 12 S Blues corner. Onchu 1:42.452, Ortola 1:42.416, Artegas 1:42.180 as well, as we see Asman out of the race on the 63. As they take in the braking zone, late on the brakes, and then we're going to go for a move at the Ford chicane. No. Not going to do it up through Dunlop either. Over the bridge, down to La Chapelle. And that is Medical walking him away. Artegas with the fastest lap of the race as well. So fingers crossed all is going to be hopefully nice and calm. As we see, Vietti once again just keeping his calm and just sort of his composure as well. He knows... Oh, yellow flag has been rescinded, by the way, so that's great news. As they come back down towards Garage Vier once again for the 4th time. Onchu takes it a little bit tighter to try and catch up. Zaki was literally dive bombing Hologado. Hologado took a wider line as well, similar to Onchu, trying to just get a good exit speed. Marshall's watching on from their posts on the right-hand side of the picture. And now the segregation begins to close up once again with Yamanaka now back on the back of David Salvador. So it's Jose Antonio Ruda who is in 11th position. He's sort of been dropped from the back of this field as Magpie flies across the screen. 1.4 seconds between Yamanaka and Ruda now as well as we watch the battle at the front. Okay, I think they've decided they've saved enough. They want to start pushing. It's important to get track position. You don't want to lead this race. You want to be sort of in the top 5, which is where we're seeing at the moment the action starting to come. Tola, who has won the last 2 races, of course. He won at Kota, won at Jerez, 2 very different styles of track. Now, can he do a 3rd to take the lead of the championship? Anything's possible in Moto3 as Monrella tries to have a look at the inside of Onchu. Didn't work out. Artegas was closing on Tola as well. So they're trying to just correct the same things. We're coming to La Chapelle once more. Oh, and Hologado goes wide. Sasaki looks to the inside line of the right-hand bottom hill, turn 5. Nothing there either to play with. Not a lot of noise coming from the trackside cameras, I'm noticing, as well. Not through some of the back half of the tracks, but it was loud enough for MotoGP, but Moto3 are more throaty and deep voices as well, so you really hear them in the paddock. And the paddock at Le Mans as well, it's a big metal roof as well that's angled so it reverberates the sound on the track into the paddock. It is super loud at Le Mans as well. I can't imagine what it's like for the Le Mans 24-hour race. It must drive everybody insane. Ear defenders are the most popular things sold at Le Mans, believe it or not, for those around the paddock areas as well, because of that metal grandstand. And grandstands are loud enough anyway. If you've been in the one at Silverstone at the exit of Farm Curve, it is super loud. The noise reverberates in there as well. You can barely hear yourself as well. If you've got a microphone and earpieces in, you cannot hear yourself. I've had that before. Hologado now into Rakudamon. He's leading from Sasaki, and then Dennis Onchu in 3rd position, Morella 4th. Garcia down in 5th position, and once again they're just trailing themselves. Moto2 is going to be the polar opposite there as well. Moto2 has had a bit of a problem recently where it's not actually as exciting as we see on the inside. That's Monrella trying to pass Onchu on the inside to turn 1 and 2, and now Sasaki's trying to go right round the outside of Hologado in towards the chicane at 3 and 4. Not going to work out. Hologado will lead the championship at this point by 16 points to Monrella. Otola will be 23 back, Masia 27 back, and again, Hologado goes a bit too wide, but Masia has passed Artegas. So Masia up to 6th position, and they're now beginning to get the gap between Artegas and Mino. It's now 0.8 of a second. Now it's 1.2 seconds. Wow, okay. And Yamanaka between Ruda as well. As I said, 1.271. So the top 10 still in the battle, but they're starting to split up a little bit. They need to come back together. Hologado's dictating the pace. Just trying to save the tyres as much as possible. Sasaki at the moment doesn't seem to be wanting to do that. And he's taking tighter lines through the corners, using more grip, using more of the rubber as well as we come down in towards the braking zone as well. How much can these Dunlops really take as well on the attack of the power? Through the Ox Boots corner at 9 and 10 chicane. S Blues at 11, and then the curve at 12 to take you back on to Rakudamon and the start-finish line. Just been told, keep an eye on Alonso as well in 12th position, apparently. So keep an eye on the number 80, who's 12th, David Alonso. We'll see if that's going to be something to factor in later in this race. Starting lap 7, 14 laps to go of the Moto3 French Grand Prix. Hologado now just holding off Sasaki. Onchu coming in. The top 7 now in the battle. And look at this from Monrella. I think he's had enough of her being third and even fourth fiddle, and so is Ortola up the inside. That's a brilliant move from Ivan Ortola, passing Diego Morella for fourth position, slipped through on the inside line of the chicane at the top of Dunlop, and on the inside, nicely done. So he's up to fourth, Morella down to fifth. We're riding with him now as we go round La Chapelle. Don't go straight on towards the road course section of the track that the Le Mans 24-hour do. We go round turn 5 and 6 through the La Chapelle section, up towards Museum at, or Musée at turn 7. Down to Garage Viet at 8 as well, second gear corner as well, at around about 70 kilometers an hour on a Moto3 bike as they hug the inside lines. Hologado taking wider exits as well, and that's left Sasaki compromised to Onshu, who got a great run out of Garage Viet. Can he get a slipstream down towards turn 9 at the Ox Boots? Not thinking it. I'm not seeing it either. Nobody's going for a little maneuver. Everyone's just sort of staying in position as well, and I'm actually disappointed that Megan's not in the commentary box, you know, as well, because I could say that Hologado is doing a Hologado maneuver, which is like a Holden maneuver from the Star Wars Last Jedi thing, so Megan would have liked that. Oh, crasher! Someone's down, it's Andrea Minio! Minio has gone down, yellow flag, and now there he is on the circuit. Timing tower showed it. Airbag's got off as well. Rider's okay, he's up and walking away. That is down at the turn 11 again. That's turn 11 and 12, exactly where Asman crashed at turn 12. So that's two Moto3 bikes that have ended up there. Yellow flag's out in sector 4. No overtaking permitted through turn 12. As now Sasaki at turn 3, trying to go through. Let's take a replay of it. And this is just going to be, is it a high side? No, he drops the front way early. That's exactly the same accident that Asman had. 13 to go, yellow flag still out as Onshu getting passed back by Ortola. Ortola had a little look there at the inside line, and the timing screen briefly changed over, as now they're all starting to flap around with 13 to go. Let's check in with Omi then. I've been talking for 8 laps. What are you making of this on Omi? Is it exciting? I'm actually thinking it's not that great just yet. There's a lot of excitement, but not a lot is happening just yet.
Exciting, but I guess still a lot more to happen. They're all so close, so you could be getting a move any second. So my eyes are just glued to the screen right now. But yeah, it's gonna be exciting these last few laps to see what who's gonna actually win this. But yeah, this currently looks to be really exciting. All of them just following each other, but we're gonna get the action coming. So I don't even know who's gonna win this. So it's gonna be tight.
You don't know who's going to win until the last corner. That's pretty much Moto3. And you just watch the last lap. It's always a bonanza last lap with these as well. We've got so many different bikes. KTM, Husqvarna, KTM, Honda, CF Moto, Gas as well. All in Honda down there. Leading Honda is actually Kaito Toba down in 14th position as well. It really is such a mixed up grid. Hologado does a 142.041, immediately beaten into the 141.9s then for Yamanaka in 8th position. And Ruda's past Salvador as well, and up at the front. I think we're getting close to some moves now coming. We're approaching the half distance though of this race. It will be lap 10 or 20 with 11 to go, so we're almost there. Down La Chapelle once again. It's not a long race this, it sort of jumps between the two, but they're all about the same. Moto3, Moto2 and MotoGP, all around about 40 minutes as well because of the slowness of the bike. So we have 20 laps for Moto3, 24 laps I think will be the distance for Moto2, then we get 27 laps the distance for MotoGP, as Scott Ogden I think has crashed on the Vision track racing because he is dropping down the timing screen. Wait to see if he has officially stopped on the circuit. Yep, Ogden, and the yellow flag's out too. Scott Ogden has crashed out. And Michael Laverty, he's had a two-rider crash because Filippo Faroli has crashed out too, as has Scott Ogden. So is there two riders down there? Is it the same part of the track? But yeah, Ogden's crashed out too, as Rossi passes Archie as well. Michael Laverty is in the BT box. Let's listen to him. He is the owner of Vision Track.
Right,
seems
okay.
to be still circulating.
Fair enough, yep, you're absolutely right. So Scott Ogden, it is a museum corner, and it looked like it might be in one of those big ones at the museum rather than the front end on entry. We've seen a couple already. We've seen a couple today. We've seen this weekend high sides out of there.
Yeah, we saw it earlier today as well in the Red Bull Rookies race just on exit. So yeah, you ask a lot at the side of the tyre, and unfortunately looks like Scott's lost the rear and is winded in the gravel, but hopefully he's okay.
And he's up and walking away with the yellow flag rescinded. Let's take a look at how he did it then. Coming through the braking zone. Oh, it's a high side. Yeah, the bike twitched on him mid-corner. And luckily he skids on his shin and elbow pads as well into the gravel. Masia up the inside there, making a move on Mortello as well. And IG has been given a long lap penalty. That's interesting. So IG on the 64 will have to go through the turn 8 long lap loop within the next 3 laps, and that's been served now with 11 to go. We are halfway in this Moto3 Grand Prix of France, and now we're going to see everyone starting to push. They've saved the tyres. Now it's time for the 10-lap battle. And Agi's was long lap penalty is due to a shortcut at turn 4. So that's the information we've just received from the stewards. As Hologado would lead the championship by 19 points. We can't let that happen because otherwise the title race begins to devalue. It's so tight at the moment in Moto 3 as well. Moto 2 is live after this as well, by the way. For everyone watching on JB Motorsport, you'll be redirected, ready for 11 o'clock. Incorrect graphic, no crash for the 7 of Faroli. Oh, so that's the second time this weekend we've had an incorrect TV graphic. So that's TV production coming up saying there was no crash for Faroli. And he is down in 18th position, but it was Ogden who crashed, not Faroli. So apologies for that. TV direction got it wrong. We go on the TV direction and the race control messages. Faroli is still circulating in 18th position as well. So it is only Scott Ogden who has crashed out of this race, as now we see once again around the outside. A nice little move there as well from Diego Monrella, and Altola getting back into the action as well. Shortcut for turn 9 and 10 is the reason for Agi's long lap penalty. That is the Ox Boots corner as well, the chicane area. So it's possible to straight line it there. Ergo, he's got that penalty. A smart decision as well, as Hologado and Sasaki changing over as well. They briefly had Sasaki take the lead, but Hologado's kept it. That's going to give him a little bit of a worry. 64 thousandths of a second through that first mini sector. Here comes Sasaki once again to the inside of Garage Viet. Not going to work out. So Hologado going to go a little bit too deep. Sasaki trying to get the comeback on the inside line and coming into it as well with a much better exit. Is Dennis Onchu. He's looking like he was going to go sailing round the outside of Sasaki at the exit of turn 8. He's right with him now, down towards the Oxbridge corner as well. We've got the top 8 all together here, and this with 10 laps to go will be the run for the checkered flag. So another 20 minutes of this. If you're enjoying Moto 3, you're going to enjoy it a lot more after this as they fly through. Hologado, Sasaki, Onchu, Ortola, Masia, Artegos, Monrella, Yamanaka. All of them could win. Oh, Monrella's crashed! Monrella's crashed in the middle of the track, and is that bike going to come back on the circuit? Mid-corner? No! It luckily stops. Commentators curse or what? Diego Monrella has crashed out. The rider second in the championship, and Sasaki begins his attack round the outside towards turn number 1 and takes the lead away from Hologado into the braking zone for the Dunlop chicane and the Thomas Ford. And here comes Onchu looking through. Altola's there too. Back on the inside comes the 96 of Hologado. Sasaki can't come back. Onchu's right there too to capitalise. So second place in the championship of Monrella drops down. He now goes 29 points back at best. Hologado down the La Chapelle. Looks a bit too wide. Sasaki and Onchu trying to come through for a sneaky manoeuvre as past Messia gets ahead of Ortola as well. So now the battle begins. Now we're starting, because if one can go down, you all could. So better to push now and get yourself comfortable. What a couple of corners that was as well. And it's not over yet. Let's take a replay. So this is going to be Monrella. Look at the top of your picture, gets a high side and gets clobbered by the bike twice as well. That's a third rider to go down at turn 12's exit, hits the bump and bang. And that is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying, as David Alonso has passed Ruda. And the MT team not happy at all there as well, just wondering what happened. Into the braking zone once more. Yellow flag has been rescinded for that accident, thank goodness. So everyone looks to be okay. We're in that part of the track now. But if I see marshals with a bike, I'm still not going to be happy. Nope, all clear. That's good. Freddie Spencer spoke to the stewards, as I said to you the other day. All that it came from is that the riders argued with the FIM and everybody else. Long lap complete for RG as well, so he's done that. The stewards argued with the riders argued with the stewards, and the FIM and Dorna, everyone just rowed, and the riders rowed internally as well, and nobody agreed on anything. So it is status quo in the MotoGP World of Stewarding, which also applies to Moto3 and Moto2, and the Moto E, and the Red Bulls Rookie Cup that we had earlier. We covered Moto E, of course, with their races. Mario RG Fire says yes as well. Hello, watching along. He has just been given that long lap penalty, but he is down in 22nd position. This is now captured at 1,000 frames per second at turn 4, the ultra slow-mo. And if anyone wants a new background on their laptop, computer, phone, whatever, screenshot the coverage if you're watching it, because I know people sync up with us as well to have the commentary. Hologado leading, goes a bit too wide, coming through Garage Vieira. Sasaki looked for an opportunity to dive bomb him on the inside, it's not worked out. Got to remind you as well, by the way, here with touching the green, if you go off the track over the white lines of the curbs and go into the Astro painted green area of the turf, if you do that 3 times, you'll be given a long lap penalty. But if you do it on the last lap of the race, touching the green parts of the exit curb, you will be given a drop of 1 position. So it's very crucial on the last lap that you don't touch the green at all, because even if you're the race leader, you could lose your race win. So we'll gear up to that as well. 8 to go, and this is now becoming a very good Moto3 race. It took a while to get into it. Yes, they've been pack racing the entire time, but it always is in the last 7 or 8 laps that we start to get the action, because everyone starts to think, okay, I better start planning my manoeuvres. And you see those further back, like where Yakanama and Ortega's is as well. They've got to start planning to get to the front as well, and it takes time. Top speed coming through turn 1, the breaking point, is Yamanaka at 222 kilometers an hour into that braking zone as well. It's 138 miles an hour. He's 2 miles an hour faster than everybody bar Masia. In fact, Hologado, without that toe, is 4 miles an hour slower than Yamanaka, who's got the toe from everybody. That's why you don't want to lead at the front. What are you making of this, Omi?
Yeah, still, it's going to go down to the end, but obviously, as I mostly watch car racing, so it's a bit like, well, so it's a bit different for me just seeing them so glued together where you never know that there's going to be a move. So really interesting currently, and looking, and we still don't know who's going to win. It could be someone outside the top 3. You never know with this one. And they're all planning their moves already. They're all trying to set some moves up, trying to go for it already. But we're mostly going to... The last time I think it's going to explode, where we're going to have so many overtakes. But yeah, currently, hopefully we don't have any more crashes, and especially the dangerous ones, because... we don't want any cars sliding onto the racetrack, but hopefully everything remains calm and we get a lot of action until the end.
I agree with you 100%. We've got 7 to go. As we look at Masia now, P4, the gap ahead, or is a 10th of a second, gap behind, 10th of a second. Doesn't the team need to communicate that? Because it can very clearly be seen he's in the middle of pack racing. 6 laps to go then, on to lap 15 of 20 for the Moto3 French Grand Prix. Honda Team Asia says yes, was absolutely fire. Absolutely. Honda Team Asia usually right at the front. They've had a difficult start to this season. Hopefully they can capitalise next time out in a month's time at Mugello when they go back and review all the data. They've also got a test as well, have Moto2 and Moto3 to get sorted as well and go through all that data. Couldn't get it operational for this race, but can in a month's time at Mugello as well. Yep, long break in the middle of spring as well, so spring break for everybody else as we come back into it. What is happening here at the front of the field is Hologado still ahead of Sasaki, but Sasaki briefly apparently took the lead according to our driver tracker here in the commentary box. Yeah, Sasaki will look for a move on the outside line, but it wasn't anything there. Into the braking zone for turn 8. Usually the bike noises are quite high, but we're not hearing anything today. Oh, that's Masia dive bombing the inside of Dennis Onchim and making the move stick coming through turn 8. Brilliant move there from Masia. Gets ahead of Dennis Onchim. Now Onchim's going to fall back into the clutches of Aizan Altola as well. Live championship, Hologado will lead Masia by 21 points. Ortola by 23. Monrella by 29, who crashed out of this race. Basically, we just can't let Hologado get a second win of the year. he has been Mr. Consistent this year. And that's what's worrying. Being consistent in Moto3 is good. Get Hologarda leading the championship, yeah, but by a whole race points, it's a little bit worrying because Moto3 is such a close championship. You enjoy these battles that we have week in, week out. So you want it to remain as close as possible. It's always the most entertaining one of the year. 5 laps to go then, as Masia has done a 1:41.806 as well. Not quite there with a fastest lap time as Masia slips up the inside and gets ahead of Sasaki. Well, if Sasaki's not going to take the lead, Masia wants it and he's starting to go for it. We've seen him do some last lap bonzo manoeuvres, haven't we? And he's going to try now as Hologarda gets forced out a little bit wide, coming through La Chapelle. And I think, as well, Masia wants it. And look at that, the gap in the championship now puts Masia 17 points behind Hologarda. This is how close it is in the standings. There is the MT Helmets MSI team as well, with Diego Monrella back in the pit lane. As Sasaki looks back on the inside, and Garage Vier gets ahead of Masia. Masia brilliantly cuts back in just the same corner to keep second position. And now he's going to fall back into Onchu as well. As the field comes through, they're all starting to spread out now. Here comes Altola. He's been passed now by Dennis Onchu as well. Briefly to get ahead of him, but that has changed out once more. Coming up on 4 laps to go. This is where the adrenaline starts pumping in for the riders. It's where the atmosphere is completely turned up to 11 as they exit through the S Blues into Racudemont, the last 2 corners on the Le Mans Bugatti circuit, and now hit the floor as well. Uphill towards turn number 1, a small curve. Turn 2 is Dunlop, 3 and 4 is the Ford chicane. And then you go under the Dunlop bridge. Sasaki trying to come back at Masia as well. 2/10, Hologarda's got out at the front as well. Are we going to see a little manoeuvre? And there goes Altola on the inside of Dennis Onchu. Onchu's not going to back out of that one. Thought there was going to be a crash there. The camera angle was a bit deceiving. Through goes Altola then. He's back to 4th. He has done last lap bonsai manoeuvres, 2 races running to take a win. Can he do it here and close up to the top 3? Yamanaka does a 1:41.789, getting close to Vietti's time from 2020, which was a 1:41.690. Masia back on the inside, gets back ahead of Sasaki. Closing up. What a couple of races. Air temperature at 17 degrees. So it has changed a lot. Masia defending into turn number 8 to Garage Vier. Still on the attack now. Down the back straight to the 9 and 10. Left, right chicane and Clemenox booths. Not going to make a move here. Hologarda's put out 3/10 now. So he saved his tyres, and the KTM Tech 3 rider is going, right, I'll just go. I'll go now, shall I? And just start punching. 3/10, 0.381. Masia, Sasaki closing back through S Blues, 11 and 12. Anyone going to go down here? Not according to us, no. 3 to go after this one. Out of Racudemont. So Hologarda's put up 0.4 of a second. It's not impossible, but he's got the best run with 3 to go. And it's a 1:41.681. A new lap record in Moto3 as Sasaki passes Masia in turn 1. Masia's going to try late on the brakes into the chicane. Decides to back out of it. But Daniel Hologarda gets a brand new Moto3 race lap record, beating Vietti's from 2020. Because 21 was wet and 22 was also a bit damp at the start as well of Moto3. It's the first dry race we've had here for a long time. Last year, the best lap race record was a 1:42.081. So that was last year's fast lap record because we had a wet morning and it dried up by the time we got to MotoGP as well. And by the time we got to Moto2 actually as well. So it's a lot better now. This year, for the first time, we've been able to go for that record after 2 years of having rain at Le Mans. Hologarda now 4/10. Sasaki has got to start closing him down with 3 to go. Field getting a little bit more separated. Yamanaka is the gap between Yamanaka and Alonso, by the way, same team, 5.4 seconds. The top 7 have checked out massively in this race. That is unusual to have a 5-second advantage as well. Yamanaka has passed Artigas. He's gone through at the Oxboots 910 chicane, and he has got now up into this battle. He's going to close down Onchu as well. 2 to go. And this is looking like a quite anticlimactic Moto3 race here, with Hologado having what seems to me to be the correct gap across the line. The gap now is 0.41. And now Sasaki does a 1:41.476. Absolutely smashes the lap record once again. Fabulous. Fabulous. So now we've got another fastest lap to contend with. It's changing all the time. Onchu's been told, mapping 4. And it's not just me. Everyone's complaining actually about the FX of the Moto3 bikes. They've been turned down in the background. Frizzo passing Toba for 12th position. Riccardo Rossi to 17th. Fanati down to 18th now overall. And we'll go through the championship and results when BT Sport go to an ad break. They'll hand over after the race to Gavin Emmett to take us through everything else. Hologado now. He's actually, look at that, Sasaki's got back the 10th. Hologado's made a mistake. Coming out of the museum corner, Sasaki's gained back 3/10. That's what we needed. The fight is on. And Messia and Ortola right there. Can Ortola win 3 races in a row? If we can do it, that'll be a championship challenge and a half. 1 in Circuit of the Americas, 1 at Jerez. Can he win at Le Mans? There's a battle for the back between Dennis Onchu and Yamanaka for 5th position. Yamanaka has closed up now. And Artigas is there too. Alonso closing into the battle, but with a second gap, it's the top 4. As Ortola gets his foot peg scraping and sparking across it. 2.6 miles left. Last lap at Le Mans. Hologado leads, Sasaki second, Messia third, Ortola 4th, and that is the run that we are going to try and have to get this race won into the chicane. Anyone going to go for a manoeuvre here? No. Not many opportunities to pass on this track, as that's Artigas trying to take Onchu down at the chicane at 3 and 4. Don't think he's made the move. He hasn't. Yamanaka's still ahead of Onchu. Hologado's lost a lot of time. Sasaki's closing in as well. This is the last lap tension we were talking about. Anybody can win in the last few corners. They've got to be a shoot to the line. And now Sasaki just starting to close in. Messia there too. Ortola's got to find something here, otherwise he'll not even be on the podium. In towards Garage Vier. Sasaki thinking about it. Hologado's out of position. He's losing time. Sasaki's right there at the exit. Down now to 9-10. Just 4 corners left on this track. They need to start thinking how to get past. Sasaki's looking for a move on the inside. It's not working out to 9 and 10. Hologado only has 2 corners. Can he do anything about it? Into the final sector of the Moto3 French Grand Prix. Hologado holding it. Sasaki close behind. I don't think we're going to see anything from Sasaki, but he's getting awfully close, unless it's a dive bomb at the line. Frizzo's crashed out. Yellow flag, sectors 3 and 4. Messia taking Ortola. 4, a podium. Ortola's trying to come back, but it's Daniel Hologado who holds off the charge and wins at Le Mans. Sasaki second, Messia third, Ortola 4th. His second win of the season. Daniel Hologado wins his second ever career race and extends the championship lead. Frizzo crashed at turn 9 at the Ox Boots corner and a little bit winded, but I think should be okay. Daniel Hologado wins for the second time this year, extends his championship lead. Sasaki is second, Messia third, and this is what happened to Frizzo. Oh, just dropped the front. And he goes into the gravel a bit nastily as well. Bike slips over, but it should be okay. Well, that brings out the yellow flag on the last lap. No one can make any overtakes into that part of the track anyway, but he was at the further back in the field. Daniel Olagado wins. Amuro Sasaki is second. Juan Messi third. What a fantastic Moto3 Grand Prix, the 1000th event. Okay, well, BT on our break. Let's go through the race results. It's Daniel Holagado who takes victory with Amuro Sasaki second. Juan Messi is third. Ivan Ortola fourth. Yamanaka fights back for 5th place. And then we get Onchu 6th, Ortega 7th, Alonso 8th, Rude is 9th, Nepa is 10th, Kelso 11th, Toba is 12th, Suzuki 13th, Salvador 14th, Vija 15th, and rounding out the points, Rossi is 16th, Bertinelli 17th, Ferroli 18th as well, 19th Fanati, 20th Anacodiso, 21st for RG, 22nd for Joshua Whiteley as well. Out of the race was Farizzo, Monrella, Ogden, Minio, and Asman. And if you stay with us, let's take a look at how the Riders' Championship now stands as well, with Daniel Holagado leading on 84 points. He's 21 clear now to Ivan Ortola, who's on 63, exactly the same points as Juan Messi in third. Diego Monrella is fourth on 55. He's cleared by Javier Artegas. He's on 50. Sasaki's on 43. Suzuki 38, the same as Alonso. Ruda's on 37. Dennis Onchi rounding out the top 10 with 33. Stefano Nepa is 11th with 26. Yamanaka 25. Toba 23. Munoz is 20, the same as Salvador. Ogden is 17. Minio is 16. Kelso is on 12. Fanati 8, the same as Vija. Bertolli 7, Asman 5, Aigi 4th, 2 for Ferroli and Rossi, and 1 for Joshua Whiteley. Okay then, Omi, what did you make of your first ever Moto3 race? I tell you, they are addictive after a while.
Yeah, that was great. And a lot of bad things, but Sasaki just wasn't able to do it. Daniel was just able to hang on. A lot of pressure for him, but he just hanged on. So great drive by him. Enjoyable race. And also, as you were mentioning earlier on about the Moto2 being a bit less exciting, I think there was a battle, so you can complete that. But I would like to hear the end of that.
Yes, the Moto2 isn't always exciting because it's a bit like the Formula 1. We get riders starting very quickly, but after the first 5 laps, the leader's usually miles and miles in the front. So we don't usually get a lot. It's usually a calmer race, Moto2, which is why we'll also be throwing to BT Sport a bit more. But hopefully we get a cracker. Okay, let's right now hand over to BT Sport, though, to take us through the celebrations onto the podium and the post-race interviews. Here's Gavin Emmett.
Welcome back to Le Mans, where we are in Parc Fermé with Ayumu Sasaki, the visor down, a bit like last year actually, where he was beaten to the lap. I think this time, Olgado, race winner in the 1000th Grand Prix, the Moto3 race here at the event. He just didn't give him an opportunity, Michael Laverty.
No, he was so strong. His last few laps were so close to last year's lap record all the way through, so he just set a pace that Ayumu even struggled to match. Ayumu set a brand new lap record in the penultimate lap, but he never gave him an opportunity. He was within striking distance on a few parts of the racetrack, but Holgado too strong on the brakes today.
And look at the delight for the Tech 3 team to take victory here at home. Number of French mechanics inside that Tech 3 squad. And Olgado's second Grand Prix victory, second podium as well. Took winner in the winner of the opening one. Dennis Onchu looked a little bit frustrated. 6th in the end, lost 3 spots really on the last couple of laps.
Yeah, struggling just to match the podium 3. He seemed to struggle. He was saying there that the front end was locking on him in certain areas of the racetrack, so just didn't have the setup today.
Shaman Mazir goes down and celebrates with the Tech 3 team. Another podium for Mazir. That's 3 in a row for the Spanish rider. And in terms of the championship, moves him up into joint second with Ivan Ortola.
Yeah, you got to say, I think the 2 Welly campaigners in there were Masia and Sasaki today. Perhaps thinking, especially for Ayumu, just wanting to get his first podium of the season under his belt, but they can't let Holgado keep this type of form. He's won again. He is now obviously stretching out his championship lead. He's got a nice little margin at the top.
great performance from Ryusei Yamanaka. And by my calculation, that equals his best finish. Has had a 5th place previously, not this season, but now on the switch to the Aspar team. Hey, that bodes well, doesn't it? That's the way he's ridden the last couple of races, that he's finally getting to grips with that package.
Yeah, obviously showed the speed in Jerez and now brought it home. And it's solid. It's a good result. He was with the lead group all the way through, had to work to get there, so he'll take a lot of confidence from that.
David Alonso too, having started way down the order. Alonso, where was he on the grid? 25th up to 8th place in the end, having to fight through hard and, you know, 9 seconds down, but he was way back at one point.
Yeah, he had to work hard. We've seen the fastest lap of the race for Alonso at the midpoint. And yeah, solid ride. So obviously overcoming the poor qualifying, and another good performance from the young Aspar rider.
So a little time to catch their breath down in Parc Fermé after a really good finish to the French Grand Prix. Jacques Mazier takes his 3rd podium in a row, and he's going to be speaking, I think, to Simon Crayford down there.
He is, Jaume. Great race, back on the podium, good for your championship, and some very fast laps at the end there. How do you feel?
Well, unbelievable race. Incredible how fast they were, and I was just trying to don't lose the gap and don't lose the concentration, but it was really difficult. Anyway, say thanks to my team. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. So, and also one kiss to the father of my mechanic, Carlos. It's his birthday, so Juan Hugh, and we will see in Mugello.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm happy enough to get that podium, 3rd in a row. And I, you know, from the start of the season where we're challenging him to show consistency, he's providing that. This was the moment that cost him a shot at victory, though.
Yeah, as you heard from there, he had to work so hard just to match Ayumi and Holgado. So a little twitch, the rear moved first and then the front went. So he done well, brought it home on a podium. He did get a little bit of pressure from Ortola in the last turn.
Ayumi Saki, 1st podium of the year, 2nd place for the pole sitter.
Ayumu, fastest through qualifying, then super fast in the race. It looked like you had the speed, but you didn't quite attack at the end. Tell us about it.
Well, it was a difficult decision to make because in the last lap, I knew I could maybe try to pass Holgado, but past few races had been quite disappointing, and in the championship we are quite in the back, so it was a bit too risky to try in the last lap. So I stayed back, and P2. I'm not 100% myself yet because still in my head the memory from last 2 crashes are there, so I'm not fully pushing 100% like qualifying, but now we came into the podium and we have the momentum going, so now we can try to win the race. And today is a Mother's Day in Japan, so I want to say thank you to my mom, and we keep going.
Great job and congratulations.
Well done to Ayumu. But an interesting interview there, Michael, from him. Would you be happy if you're the team boss to hear him say, oh, probably could have had a go, but not risking?
Yeah, unfortunately, those crashes are in the back of his mind. He wants to get some solid points on the board. He's moved up to 6th in the championship race, and as a championship favourite, it's been disappointing. So, yeah, on the day when he could have 25, it is probably a little bit frustrating for his team, but better to be on the podium than in the gravel.
You get it, don't you? You do understand. And again, the efficiency of Holgado today, unbeatable. He's your race winner in Moto3.
At the end.
Daniel, you were fantastic today. You did all the work the whole way in the race and still had the speed to hold them off in the end.
Yes, I did amazing race today. I think I am the faster rider this session. I did a good pace all the session, but my problem in my pump is very difficult because the last laps in Jerez and Austin was impossible for me. But yes, I am very happy. This race is for my team because it's the home GP for Moto3. Yes, this is for my team. Thank you.
Big congratulations.
Congratulations to Danny Holgado today. Some fine performance from him, and Hervé will be absolutely losing his mind at home, I think.
Yeah, we need to get a microphone and a camera in front of him ASAP, I think, don't we?
Absolutely, but that was some fine technical performance from Danny Holgado there. Everything he needed to do.
Yeah, he was commanding, and this is so hard to do in Moto3, you know, to control the race like that from the front, not getting overtaken, you know, in the slipstream, and he was able to attack Sasaki every time Sasaki was having a go in the straight, keep the lead, and also manage his space, you know, midway through the race. He wasn't giving it all, and he just gave it all, he saved it all for the last laps. And this is the move that we see that where Masia lost a little bit of ground, and then it became a two-way battle. But Olgado just had too much space. There was no room for Sasaki to slide anywhere or to make some kind of block pass. It was just way too fast. Saved the best for his hand. So yeah, a perfect race, championship leader, was championship leader before that.
Continues,
and now
stretches the
really,
lead.
really looking very strong for the season.
Really, you could say it was the ultimate racecraft today from Holgado, couldn't you?
Yeah, it's so difficult, Susie, when you've led for so long. The rider behind has all the information. He knows where you're slightly quicker. He knows where you're slightly weaker as well. And it's a risky strategy. It's a brave strategy, but to have that self-confidence, which he clearly has, he's a strong, determined rider. We talked about it in practice. He did all the laps on his own.
Yeah. And
that's what backs up a race like that, because he's so used to dealing with being on the limit and riding his own race with using all his own markers. Honestly, it was stunning, sensational. I mean, world champions ride. I think, are we going to start taking him serious now? Because in the past, a rider that I thought, I can't see Olgado winning the world championship. Now,
it's given him a 19-point lead in the championship, so a good chunk of points. He's got some good breathing space there. Because if you were watching that race, with the way Sasaki was watching and waiting, you would think, we all thought, I think, Sasaki's going to get it, because he knows what he can do.
Yeah, it was actually Olgado bluffing a bit with his pace. You know, he was keeping it in the 42s, like mid-42s, low 42s. And then towards the end of the race, he went into the 41s and put the heat on and stretched the group and made them work, made them sweat, and didn't give them an opportunity. So this is very, very hard to do. And when you're in the slipstream as well and following another rider, you can save yourself as well on the physical side. You know, you're not, your heart rate is not as high, and you can conserve your energy for the attack. So yeah, very, very impressive from Olgado, and a client for the championship.
Onto the podium then we go. In third position, Juan Masia for his 20th podium in Moto3. Sasaki will get his 12th podium in this class. But Daniel Holgado gets his second win of the season, his second career win, and his third ever podium as well. Arnaud Cotton, the export sales director, will present the trophies. The yellow flag, by the way, has finally been rescinded, in case you were wondering as well. Constructors' Championship taking the lead. Number 3 for KTM on the Red Bull Tech 3. Patrick Bertard, the FFF Vice President, presents the third place trophy to Juan Masia. Grand Prix 1000 here at Le Mans. Second place to Amul Sasaki. Patrick Cotant, the president of the Motorcycle Club here at Le Mans, presents the trophy for Sasaki. And Daniel Holgado, third ever podium, second ever race win, second race win of the season, will get the top honours as Verquin Rivon, the Scarf Council chairman, the chairwoman in this case, presents the trophy. And now, for Daniel Holgado, we will hear the Spanish national anthem. Daniel Holgado wins for the second time this season. What a Moto3 race we've had. And now it's champagne time. early in the morning. It's 11:47 over there. Right, we'll be back shortly for Moto2. My thanks to Omi for watching in the background as well and providing commentary. We'll see you back shortly for Moto2. See you later.